For decades, Whoopi Goldberg has been a household name, an award-winning actress, comedian, and outspoken TV personality. But now, a shocking revelation has surfaced, and it's coming from her own daughter. After years of silence, she's finally speaking out, and what she has to say could change everything. Stay tuned as we dive deep into this chilling mystery. By the early 90s, Whoopi Goldberg had solidified her place as one of Hollywood's most unmistakable stars. With an Academy Award to her name and a career that shattered industry norms, she was an unstoppable force. But Whoopi wasn't just a talented actress. She was a powerhouse, a woman who refused to be confined by anyone's expectations. Unlike many of her peers, she never bowed to Hollywood's rigid beauty standards. She didn't chase after roles that demanded her to be the glamorous leading lady. Instead, she embraced characters with depth, strength, and complexity. Characters that reflected the realities of her own journey. Whoopi's rise to fame was nothing short of groundbreaking, especially for a black actress in an industry that constantly sidelined women of color. She wasn't just another star. She was a cultural icon, smashing through racial and gender barriers at a time when Hollywood was still embarrassingly behind the curve. Armed with razor-sharp wit, unapologetic opinions, and a one-of-a-kind comedic style, Whoopi proved that success didn't come from fitting into a predetermined mold. She could be dramatic, hilarious, commanding, sometimes all at once. And whether Hollywood was ready or not, it had no choice but to take notice. But Whoopi didn't just push boundaries on screen. She tackled controversial topics head-on in real life, too. Long before it became the norm for celebrities, she was speaking out against racism, sexism, LGBTQ+ rights, and political injustices. As her film career evolved, Whoopi took a bold and unexpected turn, joining The View in 2007. The fiery daytime talk show, famous for its heated debates and outspoken co-hosts, was the perfect stage for someone as fearless as Whoopi. Stepping in as the moderator, she was often seen as the voice of reason, but that didn't mean she avoided controversy. Over the years, she's gone head-to-head with co-hosts, guests, and even politicians. Whether she was passionately defending her stance or calling out hypocrisy, one thing was certain: Whoopi's voice was impossible to ignore. Yet, while she thrived on The View, the show also placed her under relentless public scrutiny. Fans who once celebrated her acting now analyzed her every word, with some applauding her honesty and others accusing her of being too forceful. Despite the constant spotlight, there was one part of her life she fiercely guarded. Her personal world remained a mystery. Despite her outspoken nature, Whoopi has always kept her personal life under wraps. She avoided the Hollywood party scene and only attended industry events when necessary. While other celebrities turned their private lives into brands, she remained focused on her work. Her string of failed marriages and relentless dedication to her career earned her a reputation as a Hollywood lone wolf. She never sought attention through high-profile relationships or publicity stunts. Fame was never her motivation. But for all her independence, one person remained a steady force in her life: her daughter, Alex Martin. Whoopi's success in entertainment was undeniable, but motherhood brought its own set of struggles. And as Alex grew older, their differences became impossible to ignore. Whoopi Goldberg built a career on fearlessness, independence, and shattering barriers. But while the world knew her as a bold and outspoken trailblazer, there was one part of her life she rarely shared: her relationship with her daughter, Alex Martin. Becoming a mother at just 17, Whoopi was still struggling to find her own path, let alone raise a child. She had dropped out of high school, was battling poverty and addiction, and had no steady source of income. Survival was her daily reality. Her first husband, Alvin Martin, was Alex's father, but their marriage was short-lived. Before long, Whoopi was a single mother, doing whatever it took to provide for her daughter. She juggled multiple jobs: bricklaying, bank telling, even working as a mortuary cosmetologist, all while chasing her dream of making it in comedy and acting. For years, Whoopi and Alex lived in extreme poverty, constantly moving from place to place, barely making ends meet. Whoopi has spoken openly about the darkest moments, times when they had no money, no food, and no idea what tomorrow would bring. Even as her career began to take off, her approach to parenting never changed. She was tough, self-reliant, and expected Alex to be the same. But as her daughter grew older, that unyielding mindset led to growing tension between them. From the outside, it might have seemed like Alex Martin had it all. After all, her mother was one of Hollywood's most powerful and admired women. But Alex hasn't shied away from speaking about the pressure and hardships of being Whoopi Goldberg's daughter. In interviews, she's revealed that her childhood was far from the glamorous, privileged life people assumed. Despite her mother's millionaire status, there were times when she struggled financially. Wealth didn't mean indulgence. Whoopi made sure of that. She didn't raise Alex with luxury or the perks of Hollywood fame. Instead, she kept her grounded, sometimes to an extreme. Now imagine growing up in the shadow of a Hollywood icon, constantly being compared to someone as fearless and successful as Whoopi. The weight of those expectations was crushing. Alex had to forge her own identity, one that wasn't tied to her mother's fame. But that was easier said than done. As she grew older, she explored different paths, dabbling in acting and producing. She even won a Golden Globe as a producer. Yet no matter what she accomplished, the world always saw her as Whoopi Goldberg's daughter first. Did Whoopi's towering presence make it impossible for Alex to truly step into her own spotlight? For years, she remained in the background while her mother dominated Hollywood, television, and even Broadway. Unlike Whoopi, Alex rarely made public statements about her personal life or her complicated relationship with her mother. Alex revealed that despite her mother's massive success, she often felt completely on her own, navigating life without the financial or emotional safety net that many celebrity kids take for granted. Her struggles were real, and they weren't softened by Whoopi's fame. The moment her statements hit the headlines, social media exploded with debate. Some fans jumped to Whoopi's defense, insisting that her tough love approach was necessary. They argued that since Whoopi had to fight for everything she achieved, it made sense that she wanted Alex to be just as resilient. But not everyone saw it that way. Whoopi has always been known for her bold, take-charge personality, a woman who speaks her mind and refuses to be controlled. That fierce determination shattered barriers and built a legendary career. But did it come at a cost in her personal life? But when it came to raising Alex Martin, did Whoopi's no-nonsense approach bring them closer or drive them apart? Was she a supportive mother, or did her strong-willed nature make her too controlling? Like any parent, Whoopi wanted the best for her daughter. But unlike most, she wasn't raising a child in an ordinary world. She was raising Alex in Hollywood, a place where fame and fortune could destroy a person if they weren't prepared. Whoopi knew struggle firsthand. She had battled poverty, homelessness, and addiction, and she was determined to shield Alex from that kind of pain. Her solution? Teaching her daughter to be fiercely independent, strong enough to survive without leaning on anyone, not even her own mother. But that's where things get messy. In her effort to shield Alex from the dangers of fame and privilege, Whoopi may have unintentionally taken away the one thing every child needs: emotional security and unwavering support. According to Alex, her mother's expectations were sky high, and at times the pressure felt overwhelming. She often struggled with the feeling that no matter what she did, it was never quite enough. Whoopi has never claimed to be a conventional mother. In multiple interviews, she's openly admitted that she wasn't the motherly type and never believed in coddling her child. Her parenting style was tough, direct, and unapologetic. Whoopi raised Alex with a firm belief: nothing in life is handed to you. Success had to be earned, and no one, not even family, was responsible for your happiness or financial security. Independence wasn't just encouraged, it was expected. While Whoopi never pressured Alex to follow in her footsteps, her influence in Hollywood was impossible to ignore. Alex explored acting and even built a career in producing, but no matter what she accomplished, the comparisons to her mother never stopped. Some believe Whoopi's massive presence in the industry cast too big of a shadow, making it nearly impossible for Alex to be seen as anything other than Whoopi Goldberg's daughter. Others argue that it wasn't just Whoopi's fame that held Alex back, it was the sky-high expectations. No matter what Alex achieved, it would always be measured against her mother's legendary career. Even after winning a Golden Globe as a producer, Alex still struggled to be recognized for her own achievements. No matter how much success she found, she was constantly battling to step out from under her mother's towering legacy. But it wasn't just career choices where Whoopi's influence loomed large. Some believe she also had strong opinions about Alex's personal life, especially when it came to relationships. Alex has experienced her fair share of ups and downs in love, including multiple marriages. She even married and divorced Bernard Dean twice. While it's unclear just how much Whoopi influenced those decisions, many suspect that her strong personality played a role in shaping how Alex navigated relationships. Could Whoopi's fierce independence have unintentionally made Alex feel like she had to be just as self-reliant, even in her relationships? While Alex has never directly blamed her mother for her failed marriages, some believe Whoopi's influence went far beyond career advice. It may have shaped the way Alex viewed love, commitment, and even family
on what the
itself.
FBI
Yet,
finds,
despite all the speculation, there has never been a public feud between them. They've been spotted together at events, and whenever Whoopi is asked about her daughter, she only has kind words to share. Whoopi has never been shy about her parenting philosophy. She was determined not to raise a spoiled or entitled child. In interviews, she's openly stated that she didn't want Alex to grow up expecting handouts and believed success had to be earned the hard way. But
that
now
are
that
buried
Alex has
inside
revealed
the
just how
estate's
much she
large
struggled,
walls.
some fans are
It's a place
questioning
of
whether
wonder
Whoopi's
with
tough
stories
love
of
may have
hidden
been too
mysteries.
tough. Another hot topic of debate, Whoopi's dominant personality, and
All
whether it
started when the
stifled
View
Alex's
ladies were
ability
sitting
to
around.
truly become her own person. For years, we've watched Whoopi take charge, dominating Hollywood, silencing her critics, and speaking her mind fearlessly on The View. But did that same forceful nature shape her daughter's life in ways she never intended? After years of silence, Alex Martin's revelations about her difficult upbringing and
The
emotional
FBI kept
struggles
looking at
have left
Whoopi
fans
Goldberg's
asking
house.
one big question. Where does she and Whoopi Goldberg really stand today? On the surface, their bond seems unshakable. They've walked red carpets together, posed for family photos, and even collaborated on a few projects. But now that Alex has finally spoken out about the challenges of growing up in her mother's shadow, many are wondering, is their relationship as strong as it appears? Or is there more to the story than what the cameras capture? The truth is, this mother-daughter relationship is far more complex than it appears. For years, Whoopi and Alex have presented a carefully curated image of a loving, supportive family. In public, their bond seemed unshakable. Whoopi has frequently praised Alex as a strong, independent woman, applauding her for raising her own children with resilience and grace. Meanwhile, Alex has never hesitated to acknowledge her mother's success, often calling Whoopi her biggest inspiration. But beneath the heartfelt words and public admiration, was there an unspoken tension that neither of them fully addressed? But behind the cameras, their reality was far more complicated. Alex's recent revelations exposed a harsh truth. Their relationship wasn't built on warmth and emotional support, but on survival and relentless tough love. She admitted that she never felt free to fully be herself, always under pressure to match her mother's success and unshakable strength. The weight of those expectations was suffocating. During her teenage years, when Whoopi's career was at its peak, Alex often felt isolated and emotionally neglected. She struggled in silence while the world celebrated her mother's achievements. Now, the question remains, has too much damage been done for them to ever fully heal? For years, Alex buried her pain, smiling for the cameras and pretending everything was fine. But behind the scenes, the cracks in their relationship ran deep. Many believe that Whoopi's pride and stubborn nature will keep her from ever admitting she was wrong. Apologies don't come easily for someone who has built a career on being unapologetically strong. Yet, others argue that beneath it all, Whoopi loves Alex more than anything, and this public backlash could be the wake-up call she desperately needs. But even if she reaches out, even if she says all the right words, some wounds may never fully heal. At this point, Alex's only real freedom lies in accepting a painful truth. Her mother may never change. As the media continues to dig into the cracks of their strained relationship, the world is waiting for one thing. Will Whoopi finally break her silence? Now that the truth about Whoopi Goldberg and Alex Martin's fractured bond has been exposed, people are left asking, what really happened behind closed doors? And could this be just the tip of an even deeper family scandal? For decades, Whoopi mastered the art of keeping her private life hidden while building one of the most unstoppable careers in Hollywood. From her Oscar-winning performances to her bold presence on The View, she became known as a fearless woman who never backed down. But now, for the first time, her personal life is under the microscope, and the world is watching. But when it came to her own daughter, Alex Martin, Whoopi's parenting style was anything but warm. She was distant, emotionally unavailable, and at times, completely detached. Alex's shocking revelations pulled back the curtain on a truth no one expected. Despite her mother's immense success and fortune, she admitted to facing serious financial struggles. Growing up as Whoopi Goldberg's daughter didn't come with privilege. It came with isolation and emotional neglect. She also hinted that Whoopi's need for control kept her from truly living her own life or forging an identity separate from her mother's shadow. For years, Whoopi Goldberg was celebrated as a strong, independent black woman who built an empire from nothing. She was seen as fearless, unstoppable, and a symbol of perseverance. But now, people are starting to question, did that success come at the expense of her own daughter's happiness? Was Whoopi's tough love really about teaching independence? Or was it a way to keep control over Alex's life? Did she deliberately withhold financial support to ensure Alex never outgrew her mother's shadow? And perhaps the biggest question of all, did Whoopi's fame and power make Alex feel like no matter what she did, she would never be enough? So far, Whoopi has remained completely silent on the controversy. Some believe she's avoiding the conversation to protect her daughter from further media attention, but others aren't buying it. They see this as classic Whoopi behavior, When faced with criticism, she shuts people out and refuses to take accountability. In fact, many are now realizing that this isn't new. Whoopi has a long history of cutting people off when relationships no longer serve her. She severed ties with her former best friend, Rosie O'Donnell, after their infamous clash on The View. She distanced herself from her brother, Clyde Johnson, following family drama. And now, it looks like she's doing the same thing to her own daughter. While some critics accuse Alex of playing the victim for attention, the truth is far more unsettling. She spent her entire childhood feeling unloved, unwanted, and invisible in her own mother's world. According to Alex, Whoopi was rarely present while she was growing up. Her career always came first, and when she was around, her parenting style was cold, distant, and emotionally detached. No matter how hard Alex tried, she felt like she could never meet her mother's impossible expectations. Instead of feeling supported, she was left with a painful reality. She would always be seen as a disappointment. Even as an adult, Alex still grapples with her own identity, struggling to break free from the past. She cycled through failed marriages, searching for the stability she never had growing up. No matter where she turned, the foundation she longed for always seemed just out of reach. Her attempts to build a career in Hollywood were met with the same frustration, overshadowed by her mother's towering legacy. Even after winning a Golden Globe as a producer, people still credited Whoopi for her success. So the question remains, was Alex ever truly allowed to be her own person, or was she destined to live in Whoopi's shadow forever? Now that Alex's truth is out, all eyes are on Whoopi Goldberg. Fans want answers, and they're not backing down. Will she finally acknowledge that her tough love parenting left emotional scars on her daughter? Will she take responsibility for letting Alex struggle financially, despite having millions at her disposal? And most importantly, will she make things right before their relationship is damaged beyond repair? But as this mother-daughter drama continues to unfold, it's becoming clear. This isn't just about wealth or fame. This is about a daughter who spent her entire life chasing her mother's love and approval, only to be met with silence. Some fans still hold on to hope that Whoopi and Alex can mend their fractured relationship, but others believe the damage is far too deep, and reconciliation may never come. Alex is no longer a child seeking approval. She's a grown woman with her own family, and she's done suffering in silence. In fact, insiders claim she's making the ultimate decision, cutting ties with Whoopi for good. After years of pain, Alex is finally choosing her mental health and peace over a relationship that has only brought her heartbreak. The world is watching, waiting for Whoopi's next move. Will she finally take responsibility and apologize to Alex? Will she acknowledge the emotional wounds her daughter has carried for years? Or will she stay silent, protecting her image while letting the only person who truly mattered slip away forever? What do you think about the influence of Whoopi Goldberg on Alex, and what's the dark side of being a celebrity child? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for further updates.